Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film Queer, directed by Luca Guadagnino. So Guadagnino, I think, is a great filmmaker, but I don't love any of his films. His films look great, but there's just something that I don't connect with. This film, Queer, is a period romantic drama, and it's adapted from a William S. Burroughs novella. It's set in 1950s Mexico City. I think it's autobiographical. And the film follows this American expatriate, William Lee, portrayed by Daniel Craig. And he becomes infatuated with a younger man, Eugene, who's played by Drew Starkey. I'm not sure I'd say this film is style over substance. It definitely feels like there is some substance, but I'm just not getting it. There is some beautiful cinematography here. There's almost a drunk quality to the film, which makes sense because our main character is effectively a drunk. Much of the film looks like a film set. It looks a little bit artificial, but overall I thought this look actually worked quite well. It did give it that kind of dreamy atmosphere. I really liked the opening scene with the blue letters kind of on a mattress background. Just a really striking image, got my interest immediately. And then there's other really interesting scenes. There's a scene where there's a face not too far from the camera, but then there's these purple flowers so close to the camera that they're completely blurred. I like the fact that there's some interesting kind of image making here. The film is really sensual, sexual, it's very intimate. Guadagnino is really good at creating this quality, and the acting is really excellent. Daniel Craig is very good. The film looks good, the characters are good. It's got the basis of something potentially very good. However, I'm left with the feeling, what's the point of all of this? I don't really feel it took me anywhere. It's long, it's messy, it's this kind of drunk journey. And the climax of the film is when they take the ayahuasca. And this feels like such a letdown. In some ways, it's such a kind of cliched climax. It doesn't feel like the characters evolve in any way. It's just an excuse for a long trip sequence. And, you know, I think that's supposed to just be so significant that that's enough, but I didn't find it so. I thought this trip sequence was a bit like a music video. Again, as with the whole film, it looks great. It's this visual mix of sex, of dance, even horror, but it felt like a cheap climax compared to the potential that the film had built up. In the very final scene, the music suggested that I should be feeling that it's a really sad ending, but I just found it a really drawn out scene. I just wasn't emotionally engaged at all. The music in this film has received a lot of high praise. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, but it didn't stand out for me particularly. There's a lot of music of a later time included in the film, anachronistic music. For example, there's a scene where Nirvana's Come As You Are is played as Daniel Craig walks down the street, and it makes for a very cool scene. But again, it's a bit like a music video. I'm not really sure how this relates to the substance of the film. Again, Guadagnino risks leaning into style over substance. As I said earlier, I do think there is some substance in this film. I think it's supposed to be a love story, but I didn't feel that there was much love in this film. There's more lust, more obsession. The Daniel Craig character, William, thinks he's looking for love, but he's so unstable, he's so insecure that he probably couldn't even be in a relationship. Eugene, the younger man, is exploiting the situation. He's definitely not in love. I think that there is an authentic kind of sadness conveyed by this film. William says to Eugene that he would pay him just to be nice twice a week. But I never felt that this went very deep. William is over-emotional, he's always drunk, he's melodramatic. I never felt an emotional engagement with him. It all just felt a little bit shallow. The most emotionally deep scenes are in fact the sex scenes, and they're very intimate, very sensuous, very tactile. But it seems to me that this is just pure sex, not love. One other point, this is very much a film from an American perspective. It's about Americans in Mexico. Mexico is just like the theme park where these guys play and have fun. There's very few Mexican characters in the film. There's no Mexican music, for example. It's not really a criticism, it's just an observation. This film actually could have been set anywhere. Overall, I wouldn't really recommend this film. Although there is a lot of beautiful and stylish cinematography, the film doesn't have much depth or substance for me, even though it feels like it's trying. So perhaps it just didn't work for me. I do think Guadagnino is a great filmmaker, but for me, he's not yet made a great film. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.